Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Long time no see. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Tom. If you do know me, thanks for coming back. It's been quite a while. After lockdown, I sort of rushed back out to work and I've been crazy busy ever since. We've all been trying to catch up with things that we missed during lockdown, and I've also moved house, so I've not really been able to film anything. I thought today that I'd come back and give you a sort of money-saving video. We're all tight on the pennies at the moment, and I think that as a makeup artist, one of the fundamental things we do is we use one product for many different things. The tips and tricks I'm going to show you, they're not by any means like new information, and you may know them already, but I'm just going to show you how you can use the products you already have in a variety of different ways to get more diverse looks. I'm going to give you 5 different options, so here we go. The first tip is actually to use your eye primers as regular primers on the face. So I do get a lot of oily girls being like, oh, I just have such an oily T-zone and I can't really find anything that makes it stop or, you know, helps my products last longer. One thing that I found over my career is to use some really solid eye bases just in the T-zone. I think this also works for combination skin people. My favourite two are the MAC extended, the 24-hour extended eye base, and the NARS smudge proof eye primer. You just pop a little bit on. I'll use the NARS because I'm not as oily as using the extended eye base. Like, that one is bulletproof, but essentially you just whack a little bit of this on in the T-zone and it just helps you with the oil control. If you think about how it helps your eyeshadow to stay in place, it's just going to do the same but on your nose. You really don't want to use a lot of product here. With primers in general, it's really important not to use a lot. I don't really get oily on my forehead, so I'm just going to leave that bit, but if you basically just pop a little bit wherever you get oily and then go ahead with your foundation routine as normal, I think you'll find it'll be really, really helpful. Okay, so off camera I've just done my foundation and concealer just to speed things up, and the second tip is to use your bronzer as not only your bronzer on your face but also as eyeshadow, and sometimes even as a little bit of lip contour. I find this is such a great trick. When I'm doing work in fashion or commercial, I do this a lot because not only do I need to save time, but I also need people to sort of look natural and make sure the look is very sort of together as a whole. So if you use that same shade, it's just quick, you just smack it on really fast, and then it just draws all of the features together in one. You can use cream, you can use powder. I prefer to use cream just because I prefer the texture of creams on my skin, but yeah, it's an amazing way to save time and money because you just don't need to go out and buy eyeshadow. You can use any sort of brush you like, but I've just gone from this one from Real Techniques, and I'm just placing it sort of high on the face and buffing it in. This one goes on really, really strong, but it buffs out very well. Pop it sort of all along the high planes of the cheek, into the temple, buff it into the skin, and a little bit down here. Keep going with it. It takes a bit of time to finesse, but because it's a cream product especially, it blends really well into the skin. Hopefully you can now see just that I've got a lovely sort of warmth around the face, a little bit of definition but nothing too crazy, and then I'm just going to go straight in with the product onto my eyes. It just gives you that little bit of something extra. Do it like this and just blend it in. I'm using like a synthetic brush because, again, still using creams, but you can just whack this on. You can use your fingers if you prefer, but I guess I'm just more used to using brushes. I'm also going to pop just a little bit underneath the bottom lip, which to begin with looks really crazy and really scary, but when you blend it out and you've got your lip colour on later, it just makes this bottom lip look a little bit more pouty, and we can all stand for a bit of that. I am naturally quite full underneath the lip, so it might look a bit extreme for now, but again, all these things with time, they just draw the look together. So once you've finished up with the bronze on the eye, you can just whack a load of mascara on and you're pretty much good to go. The next tip that I'm going to show you, I've already started a little bit on the face, and that is using an eyebrow pencil for freckles. I think the colours of eyebrow pencils are really, really perfect to mimic your natural freckles, and certainly the colour in your brow. I think just, again, it's all about drawing those tones together. So this is Taupe from Anastasia Beverly Hills, which I used on my eyebrow before, and I'm now just going in and finding where I did have freckles before and enhancing them a bit. The light is quite bright, so I don't know if you'll necessarily see it here, but I'm just going to go in and do a little bit. The freckles thing has been really popular recently. I'm not a huge fan of it myself, only because For some reason, I always think when I draw freckles on, they always look like spots on my face, but it's only because I think I have like post-traumatic stress from actually having acne years ago. But yeah, you just want to go in and reinforce where you had freckles. It is quite random. Freckles don't follow really like a natural pattern. But again, they do tend to focus on the higher planes of the face, so a little bit on the forehead, over the nose and the cheeks. You can go in as heavy or as light as you want, but I just whack the product on and then dab it out later. Some places you do want to go in heavy as like a really sort of focusy, as a focus point. But yeah, just dot them in over the cheeks until you're ready. I just think the colour is so perfect, and I've never really got on with any of the other the other products that are used for freckles. So I just think that a brow pencil works really well. Interestingly, we're not stopping there on the brow product. What you may have noticed is that I've just popped on some lipstick. This one's Pillow Talk by Charlotte Tilbury. I'm actually going to use this exact same eyebrow pencil, so that's Taupe from Anastasia Beverly Hills, as a lip liner. It just creates the most perfect shadow. Sometimes I find with my lips, I lose really the definition around them when I'm wearing lipstick, and it makes them almost look smaller even though there's more attention to them because of the colour. So I just use a little bit of this and it's especially on that sort of white border around your lips, and it creates a really natural shadow that again just plumps the shape. So for me personally, I can't just leave it as it is too strong and I prefer the more natural look. So I just use a little brush to smudge it in. But this cooler colour just acts as an amazing contour to shape the lip. There you go, so it keeps it looking really natural, so I don't look like I've got anything crazy on the lips, but it still provides you with that definition and that fullness. You can do it with loads of different different eyebrow pencils, but just make sure they are on that ashier, cooler tone. And this actually works even for bolder lipsticks that you want to maybe dull down a bit. It just sort of grounds the look. Okay, so for my final tip, although I've got lipstick on already, I'm going to be using cream blush as a lipstick and as a blush. I think, again, it's one of those things that pairs in the tones really well. One of my favourite sort of all-time most used cream blushes is Werk from Milk Makeup. I absolutely love this. It's all scraped out the top because of Werk, but basically, yeah, I'll pop it on the face and the lip, and it just ties everything in together. For cream blush, I am really more of a fingers person. I think it melts the blush into the skin really well. I quite like mine high and drawn back just because of my facial structure. I also would do the step at the end if you're doing freckles, just because I think it helps, again, dampen the freckles down and make them look like they're actually on the skin, rather than just like drawn on top of your makeup. Just using the warmth of my finger here really to add that blush in. I quite like a strong blush. I'm trying at the moment to be more subtle with blush, but I just think it looks so beautiful. And I think with the time of year, I'm very drawn to colour and flushed cheeks. What I do often do before I move any further is just use my foundation brush to get at the edges of the blush and the bronze, just to make sure it's all tied really well in, and then just again straight in with my fingers. I've already got the contour on my lip, and that shade I just think is beautiful. So I think if a colour looks good on your lips, it will look good on your cheeks and vice versa. So it's a really nice way of testing if you think something is going to look good. What do you think? So that's the completed look. There really are tons of different options with this. You can use different colours of foundation as bronzer and contour. You can use eyeshadows as eyebrow powder. You can use eyeshadows as eyeliner. I think it's endless with makeup, the options. They give you, companies like to say this is a product for this specific use, and that's all you could use it for, but I do encourage you to explore other ways of using it, because you can save yourself a lot of money, you can also save yourself a lot of time and space. You know, like if you have a smaller makeup bag, you don't want to have like a million different products for, you know, every different specific use, when you could just use the same things. Yeah, I really love a look like this. It's so easygoing, it's so natural, you can whack it on really quickly. Obviously I'm talking you through it, so it's taking a bit longer, but I just think, you know, it puts you together, everything looks a little bit, you know, fresher, and I would happily wear this out and about. I just think it's really enhancing natural makeup, and because we've used a lot of cream textures, it again just looks a bit more like skin. Certainly in person, I sort of moved off camera and had a little look in the daylight, it was like, yeah, my skin looks really good. So I'm hoping you enjoyed the video. Let me know what your sort of favourite combinations are, like what multiple products you use. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel if you do enjoy my content, and hopefully I will see you again soon. Bye guys.